Do you want to know the best attackers going into Year 7 Season 3 of Rainbow Six Siege? We've come to the right video. In today's video, I'm going to give you the best attackers in the game as of right now, and I'm going to give you the new operator, Grim, and where he fits currently in the meta as well. So if you want to see what attackers are the best in the game, let's get straight in the video. So before I get into the tier list, I just want to know that this is my opinion and the opinion of many other content creators that I've sat in Discord with. And I just want to let you know if you disagree with anything that I have to say, let me know in the comments. I will argue with you for hours. I'm kidding. Just let me know if you disagree with anything that I have to say, and we will talk about it in the comments. And who knows, you might change my mind for the next tier list that I do, as I'm going to be releasing a Defender tier list next week on the same day of the week. With that being said, let's get into the tier list. So the first operator I want to talk about is Ace. Now, Ace is not as quite good as he used to be. He is still a hard breacher with an amazing gun, and that's going to automatically place him in the A tier, right? But I do want to say every single hard breacher in the game does his job, but better in a certain aspect, right? If you like the versatility that he brings, Hibana is better. Maverick is uncounterable, takes a lot more time, but if they have any electricity, you don't need to rely on your teammates to get the wall open. Thermite has the biggest breach in the game, right? There's always going to be better people to play than Ace, especially in the solo queue environment, but if you do pick him up, it's still not going to be that bad. Next is Ash. Ash is B tier. Now, they did decrease the recoil on the R4C this season, which isn't actually that bad, but if you want a 3-speed with 2 range breaching charges, you can get everything that she brings, but better with other operators. So you want a 3-speed with a good gun. Iana, Capitão, Glaz, Maverick. There are other 3-speeds with really good guns. And then you want 2 ranged breaching charges. Zofia. You want 2 range breaching charges with a really good gun. Zofia. Like, there's just absolutely zero reason to bring Ash, and that's why she's so low on this tier list. Now we have Buck. So Buck, I actually am going to put an S tier this season. He got the gun 6 for this season, and that's very, very good. He has the verticality of being able to play below sights and above sights. He also has a very, very good gun with a 1.5 times scope on it. He has hard breaching charges, right? And then he has a gun 6. A lot of utility in one single operator. So Buck, very, very good in my opinion, and you need to start playing Buck more in your ranked games. Blitz, I'm going to put in C tier. So Blitz, he's okay on like 1 or 2 sites with a coordinated team, but that's it. If you're solo queuing in ranked, playing Blitz is a throw pick, as you're not bringing any utility or guns to your team, when you could be bringing so much else with one different operator that's higher up on this tier list. So Blitz, I wouldn't recommend picking him unless you have a strat in mind and you're 5-stack and you know you can be a reliable Blitz player. And then the same thing goes for Amaru, right? Not very good on her own. Kind of a throw pick, honestly. Very good guns, though, but unless you have a coordinated team and you're stratting, she's not going to be as good as the operators above her. Capitão is A tier. Capitão is a very slept-on operator. His firebolts are very good for flushing out attackers into positions that you can shoot them from. And then he can also create one-way smokes. One-way smokes are smokes that you can shoot anywhere, and if they peek through the smoke, their head is covered through the smoke, right? So they can't see whenever they're peeking through the smoke, but you can see their legs because it's a high-up smoke. So a very underutilized operator, especially in ranked, and I think you need to start picking him up. He has a very good weapon selection, and they're also giving him a gun 6. So very, very good. I think Capitão is going to see a huge resurgence, especially in Pro League, and that's going to make people start playing him a lot more in ranked as well. All right, Dokkaebi, I'm putting in A tier. Dokkaebi is very, very good, especially at the higher level. She has the ability to access all defender cameras, very good, at the expense of you having to get a roam clear kill. But the cool thing about Dokkaebi is she has those 2 phone calls that are very good for roam clearing. So if you and a teammate, you can get access to every single defender camera in the entire game. So very good operator, and with this season, they're giving her EMP grenades. So overall, extremely good, and if you play Rooney's DMR, the weapon selection is not that bad if you know what you're doing. So I think she's a very, very good operator, and people are going to start playing her probably more than Jackal and Lion this season, which I'm very excited about. My next operator is Blackbeard, and he is D tier. I don't care that he has EMP grenades this season. I do not care. His ability overall is terrible. His weapons are terrible. I don't care if you like his AR. It's dog shit. It's overall just probably the worst pick you could play on attack is Blackbeard. He provides 0 utility to the team with bad weapons, and overall is just a throw pick if you pick him. Finka, I'm putting in A tier. Now, they took away her LMG because of the recoil being so atrocious. They also increased her recoil on her AR this season. They took away her frag grenades, but with the suppressor buff, her AR is going to be a little more viable. So she's still very good in the sense that she provides adrenal surges, but they're giving her smoke, so they're giving her more of a team play aspect to her instead of a fragging aspect, which I personally really enjoy, and I think that's what she was meant to be in the first place, was more of a flex operator and less of a fragger operator. So I think they've balanced her in a way that she's going to be a little more viable. Next on my tier list is going to be Iana, and Iana I think is going in the S tier. Iana, they took away her Gone 6 this season, but I still think she's extremely viable. She has 2 amazing weapons as her primaries. She has the ability to infinitely drone with her Iana clone, 2 frag grenades, right? Very versatile already. And then you're talking about the ability to burn Aruni gates as well, and the solo Q potential to drone yourself in with her Iana clones is already very, very good. So for ranked, I still think Iana is going to be an S tier operator. Next, I'm going to talk about Fuze, and Fuze I'm actually putting in the lower A tier. There's a reason for this. So Fuze already was pretty good. I want to say like B tier last season because he had the best 2 guns in the game. He had the LMG and the AK. He also provided the best utility clear in the game with his 5 grenades, being able to destroy any ADSs with my discs, shields in sight without really a counter, right? And all they did this season was buff him, right? They reduced his drilling time to 2 seconds from 3 seconds. So now you have less of a time to react to the Fuze gadget, right? They increased the pellets trail visibility, so you can see where the Fuze pellets are going easier. Now that is a buff to the defenders, right? But it's also good if like you accidentally fuse your teammates or something, right? So not really that big of a change there, just a quality of life change there. And then they added smoke grenades as a 3rd gadget to him. So you can still run the hard breaching charges, but now he has smoke grenades for those team play scenarios. So still very, very good. They did decrease the they increased the LMG recoil, but he still has the AK, right? With a lot of scopes on it. So very, very good. And with the silencer meta as well, the AK already isn't too hard to control if you're pretty good at it. So I think Fuze is going to be a monster, especially in pro play, and I can't wait for people to play him in ranked. Now let's go into Flores. Flores, I have a very strong opinion about Flores. I think he's S tier. His weapons are great. He has 4 Rotero drones that can destroy any piece of utility that's able to be destroyed by explosive. So if you're on coastline, you can drive these drones through the vents and get the hookah shield instantly. The only counter to him is mute and Mozzie, or just shooting his drones. But you have flash grenades, and you have teammates that you can easily distract defenders with and sneak these drones in through enemy lines and be able to get a monstrous amount of utility, right? So it's like having 4 frag grenades on attack that you're able to move and maneuver around that are also bulletproof and uncounterable to Jaeger and Wamai. So I think he's actually very, very good, very underplayed, especially in ranked when people aren't looking to counter him. I think he's S tier for sure. Okay, so my next operator is Glaz, and Glaz, all they did this season was buff him. They just gave him claymores as a tertiary gadget, as his 3rd gadget. So I mean, overall last season they buffed him enough, right? He's a 3 speed with a sniper that's very good, that has a thermal scope on it. He also has a bearing 9, right? Very fun operator to play. And for solo queue ranked, which is what this tier list is about, I think he's very, very versatile as a fragging operator. So A tier is what I want to put him. He also has frag grenades as well, which is one of the reasons we put these fraggers like Iana so high. I know this is a very strong opinion, but I genuinely think Glaz is an A tier operator, and he's very underutilized as he now has the weapons and the loadout to prove it. Gridlock I'm going to put in the B tier. Now, Gridlock is not C or D, where most people think she is, because most people play her wrong. They think of her as a worse version of Nomad, and they think of her as a worse version of Flank Watch, which is true, but don't use her for Flank Watch. I have a Gridlock guide, which I'll put in the top right here, but you want to use her to cut off any defender rotates that are inside the objective to make post plant and overall taking space easier. And she also now has EMP grenades with very good weapon selection. I think she's actually going to be a lot better than most people think she is, and a lot more versatile as an attacker than you've been playing her. Hibana, I want to put in S tier. I think she's probably the best hard breacher in the game if I had to pick one. She's the most versatile. She brings great weapons, flash grenades, and the ability to be able to differentiate how many pellets you want. Gives her a lot of versatility there, but it's also a ranged hard breach, right? So that's even more versatility, and it's even safer to play her than somebody like Thermite, where you have to go onto the wall or onto the hatch where you might get nitroed or killed that way. So very, very versatile. She's always been very good. I don't think really any changes need to be made to her for her to be any good at all, and overall I think she's a very, very good operator. IQ I want to put in like the bottom of B tier. She brings good guns. She brings the ability to see any electronic defender gadget in the game, but you can do her job better with somebody like Twitch or somebody like Dokkaebi or just using drones, right? IQ is just very, mid, and they didn't do anything to her this season. They didn't give her any nerfs or buffs, so she's just gonna stick in the meh category for now. So my next operator is going to be Jackal. Jackal is in the S tier. I think he always has been good. They didn't change him at all, so he's still very good. He has 2 very good weapons, the best roam clearing device in the game, and is overall very easy to pick up, and there's a reason he is banned as much as he is. So Jackal S tier, don't really need to explain myself there. Callie, they buffed the shit out of Callie this season, and I'm actually very happy that they did that. So they made her have 4 charges instead of 3, very good. They made her recoil extremely easy to control. They made the recovery time even better, so that essentially means she just has a faster fire rate. And I think that's, you know, a really, really good change that she's needed for a while. But that being said, I still think she's just B tier. Like, you could pick any other operator to help get the wall and it'd be better. She also still destroys your teammates' gadgets whenever you throw them on the wall, so you can't counter a bandit trick or a K trick or anything like that. Now that EMP grenades are coming into effect, I don't think she's going to be very good either. And her kit, like I said, is very hard to use, so overall I just don't think Callie is that good. Is she better? Yeah. She's not C tier like I thought she once was, but she's still just okay. Lion, I'm going to put in A tier. Now, Lion for ranked specifically is extremely easy to pick. You're always going to get some semi-value out of Lion just by clicking the button that he uses, right? Very low skill operator, but he does have a high skill ceiling, meaning that he can be played in a multitude of ways that are a lot more helpful than just clicking the button. Coordinated pushes, coordinated roam clears. He can be very good if played correctly, but even if he's not played correctly, he can still be very, very good. They also gave him EMP grenades. His guns are still very amazing, and I overall think that Lion is kind of slept on in the rank scene, and he needs to be played a lot more. Now we have Grim, the new operator. He essentially does what Lion does, but in a more solo queuistic kind of way. So he has 5 of those B canisters that we've been seeing, which is kind of insane now that I think about it. He also has the commando and dock shotgun, which is very, very good. It's also a constant ping, so instead of just pinging him once every few seconds, you always see their ping as they're moving around. So really, really good, and the only counter to him is Jaeger and Wamai. That's it. And I think also maybe Vigil or Mute. I haven't actually playtested that, which I will do in my Grim guide that I'm releasing next Monday. But overall, like, very, very good. I don't think he's going to be as broken as Azami was when she came out, but I don't think he's going to be as bad as Sens was when he came out. So overall, I want to put him in high A tier. I can't wait to playtest this operator in ranked whenever the season comes out and just see how he changes in the meta. Maverick, I want to put Maverick in the S tier. They took away his frag grenades, but his frag grenades weren't the main reason that people played him. He has an amazing gun, one of the best ARs in the game. He has a lot of sights on that gun. He has an uncounterable gadget that can help get walls open. I think without his frag grenades, he's going to be a lot less of a brain dead pick, right? People are going to have to start playing him a lot better and a lot more coordinated with their team, but I still think he's an S tier operator just because of his primary gadget. You can't take that away. Monty, I want to put in B tier. Arguably even A tier. Now, something that a lot of people will disagree with me about is how good Monty is, but if you look at the actual win delta of Monty, he has the highest win delta in the entire game. That means when people pick Monty, they have the highest percentage of winning rounds, or the highest chance of winning a round when they pick Monty. It's actually almost off the charts how good Monty is in ranked, specifically. Now, in comp, if you have a coordinated team, he's even better, right? You can't take that away. He takes so much space on roam clears, on power positions. He's great for post plant, and a good Monty player is someone that you can play behind and rely on that is very, very good, that you honestly won't find often, but if you can be a very good Monty player, he's definitely A tier. And now they also gave him EMP grenades, and I think he's honestly very underrated. All right, so people are going to kill me for this pick, but I think Nøkk is A tier. The reason I think Nøkk is A tier is because she has the ability to counter any attacker camera in the game. Pro people ban Nøkk all the time because they realize how good she is, and ranked players do not. She was the second most banned attacker 1 Pro League season ago, I'm pretty sure. Might have been 2. But she still, to this day, is one of the top 5 most banned attackers in all of Pro League. And ranked, she's one of the top 8 or top 10, usually. And she's just an annoyance to deal with, right? She's not very good on her own, but it's one of those things that you don't want to have to think about. Like a Clash, right? A Clash is never really that good, but you just ban her because you don't want to have to think about it or deal with her. Same with Capitão, right? But now, that's not the case. She's actually very good now. She has EMP grenades, hard reaching charges, frag grenades, a 1.5 on an SMG that comes with smoke, a deagle, the ability to counter any single defender camera in the entire game of Rainbow Six Siege. Also, they nerfed crouch walking to make it a little louder. She fucking negates that. So if you know how to solo push with Nøkk, she's probably one of the best attackers in the game. I'm not going to put her S tier as she doesn't provide as much utility as someone like Jackal, Maverick, or Iana, but I still think she's very, very good. Nomad I'm going to put in S tier. Now, especially in ranked, if you have constant flank watch that you don't need to be watching or you don't need to have drones on, that's always going to be amazing. It's good for runouts against ranked players. It's good for sight denial if they're trying to do post plant. She has flash grenades. She has two very, very, very good guns, and I think Nomad is probably the best flex player that you can have on attack in the ranked scene, and even in competitive she's still a monster. So Nomad, definite S tier for me. So my next operator is Osa. Now Osa already was a very, very versatile operator. She brought two deployable shields on attack that you could see through very clearly with two amazing guns, and they only buffed her. She has EMP grenades now, so Osa is a definite A tier for me. Great guns, 50 round mag on her gun. She also brings Thermite's AR, which is just Sledge's AR but with a little bit better stats if you want a frame of reference there. But also two deployable shields that you can see through, plant behind, and do a lot of versatile things with. And great for taking space, just like Blitz or Monty is with her shield. Overall, very versatile operator that if you pick in ranked, you will definitely see your win percentage go up. Now, Sens. I want to put Sens in B tier. Sens is one of those operators that's very good in thought, but very bad in practice. Right? Very good on paper, but because of the way that his gadget works, it's just very underwhelming at times because you find yourself sending off the wrong thing that you didn't mean to send in the first place, which is really, really bad. I think if they made it to where the hitbox on Senge's gadget was a lot smaller, then they would be played a lot more. Or if they showed like a line where the Senge gadget would go when it's deployed, like a Viper wall in Valorant, I think it would be a lot better just because of how hard it is to use their gadget. But overall, Sens, I'm putting them in the B tier for now. Sledge, S tier. I don't care that it took his ACOG. I don't give a fuck. Sledge is S tier, bro. He has a sledgehammer. That's all I gotta say. I didn't even use the ACOG on Sledge. Like, y'all can't lie and say you used the ACOG on Sledge and be pissed about it. We all know you used the 1.5. Shut the fuck up. He also got EMP grenades. His AR is still one of the best attacking ARs for beginner players. His sledgehammer, extremely versatile. I still think Sledge is an A tier pick. That being said, Sledge versus Buck. Buck is now really good with his Gon 6, so it's honestly whatever you want to pick there. But for ranked, he's always going to be S tier. So Thatcher is not S tier anymore. He's just not. You can bring EMP grenades and do the exact same job with him. So I want to put him, honestly, in A tier. He still is great at what he does, and a Thatcher rework is coming soon. So this is kind of to be determined at this point. He's not as useful as he once was. And I think his ban rate's going to go down, his pick rate's going to go down, and people are just going to use EMP grenades instead of Thatcher. So Thatcher, A tier pick, great weapon still, great gadget still, but overall just there's better operators to pick that do his gadget but bring more. So Thatcher, A tier, honestly might even be B tier, but that's a bit controversial for this video, so I'm going to put him in A tier. Thermite, S tier, biggest hard breaching in the game, very versatile in the sense that you can put his breach on one surface and it still explode the surfaces around it. Great example is break room in theme park, or putting it on barricades next to soft walls if the soft wall is electrified. You can put it on the ceiling above soft walls to get the wall if it's still electrified. So he's very good at countering electrified walls in a very advanced mindset, in the same way that Maverick is. People just don't really know how to utilize it. He also brings flash grenades or smoke grenades, and he also has a very good AR. So S tier for sure. If you pick Thermite, playing ranked, nobody's going to complain, and you're only going to bring more versatility to your team. Twitch, I want to put in the A tier. She has the second best gun in the game with a 1.5, and she has the ability to counter every single electronic gadget in the game and defender cameras, right? Very good. If you want burn for an ADS, you can bring Twitch. Still have very good solo queue potential with her gun. Very versatile, especially in the higher up you go. She is very good. I think people underestimate her just because they think you can do her job but better with other operators. It's honestly personal preference, but if you have a good Twitch player that knows how to get defender gadgets without the enemy team destroying their drones, it can be very good. Alright, so next is Ying. And Ying in ranked by herself, I think, honestly, very strong opinion on Ying. I think she's probably S tier, but I know most people aren't going to agree with me there. She has 4 flash grenades that you can cook for a certain amount of duration for site executes, so that's essentially 4 site executes. She also brings 2 smokes and LMG with every scope in the game except for the 3 times, I think, and is very good for solo pushes, team pushes, plants, roam clears, everything of that nature, and is a very versatile operator that is very underrated. Now, in ranked, everybody is going to have a Jaeger, so you have 2 smoke grenades that can burn for those Jaegers, and 4 blinds that can also burn for Jaegers. You can use Ying just purely for burn as well. Very versatile. I have a very strong opinion of Ying. I think she's very, very good, but with people bringing Warden a lot, due to him being so versatile as well, I think she's probably just going to be A tier 4 now. Let me know in the comments what you think about Ying. I think she's one of those operators that you could put in either S, A, or B and kind of be right. Next, we have Zofia. So, like I said, she was already A tier in my last tier list, and all they did was buff her. They made her LMG way harder to control, but they made her AR way easier to control, which is, in my opinion, the correct buff and the correct way to go about what they did with her. They didn't give her anything like EMP grenades. They didn't do anything to her main ability, but I think she's back where she once was, which honestly makes me want to put her in S tier. But again, there's always going to be better operators to play, especially in rank, so I'm going to put her actually in high A tier 4 now. Very versatile, very easy to pick up, and very, very good. So high A tier, low S tier, either one's pretty acceptable for me. My next operator is Zero. Now, Zero is one of those operators that's pretty slept on, but there's always going to be better operators to pick than Zero if you want somebody that's able to deny utility, right? And most people will use him to deny utility, which in my personal opinion is wrong. I think he's best suited as a flank watch operator. He has 4 cameras. Yes, they do have a taser zap. Yes, they can go through walls. Yes, he does have an MP7, but not very good in terms of like getting utility. If you want to get utility, again, you have EMP grenades now, so Zero's pretty useless in that category. But if you want flank watch, you also have Nomad. But he's very good on certain maps like Bank or like Chalet, where there's a lot of open space and easy places to hide his cameras. So I think Zero is good in that sense, and I'm going to place him in A tier because of that. But that's pretty much it for the attacker tier list. Next Wednesday, I will be making a defender tier list, and then I'm probably going to make like 3 more tier lists every single Wednesday. Just get used to me making tier lists on Wednesday. But that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Make sure you like the video. It helps me out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you want to get better at the game of Rainbow Six Siege and see more tier lists like this. Let me know in the comments if you disagree or agree with anything that I had to say, and I will see you in the next video.